All right, everyone, real quick, notice the weight at 162. I just checked my scale from this morning is a 161.8. So as I mentioned, I'm always going to round up. So there's my weight at 162. FYI, I'm doing a race today. That's why I'm setting this. We're going to go in and join the event real quick. It starts in just over 3 minutes. Did our pre-race warm-up already. Slowly brings my heart rate up. Same one I always use. I need to get in here now and change my bike. So FYI will not let me change my weight once I join the race. Which, you know, I'm fine with all that. I'm not trying to cheat. I'm just trying to put my weight correctly. Because when I'm doing all my other rides, I tend to leave it heavy. I think it simulates more real life. If I'm out on a training ride, I'm going to have a lot of extra weight with me on the bike. In a race, I would not. So I tend to leave the weight heavy when I'm out training, but I want to make it accurate when I'm actually doing a real event. So this will be the same course we've done before. We come out of the pens, we're going to make a right, roll around, uphill over the rollers, and then 8 laps of that. Just under 2 minutes to go here. I'm already a big sweaty mess.
Hey guys, I'm Honey Eden and I'm your hiker for today. Come with me. Check out the scenery of where we're at. I don't know if you can hear it.
All right. Weather, it's 83 degrees here in southern Mississippi, approaching 5 p.m. 47% humidity. So 83 feels like 84. It's not too bad. 5,076 people in Zwift right now. We're going to be racing with, looks like 44 people in this race. Grab another drink. Again, our hydration product to use called H2O. I plan to do one more of those just before we start, because I expect I won't get any during the race. Tighten the shoes.
Driving that knee up. Really bring that knee up and increase. Keep that foot flexed and engaging its flexor. Right here is where you engage the pull, the lower abs, arms straight by your side. Check the deeper in your hand. You're going to put it how you need in order to run uphill or sprint with that knee. Also, we're going to build up ability and strength. Alright, go ahead and go with one go with breath. As you're walking, you guys are going to hit one toe, the front of your body, can't take the you, and extend it at the top of your head. Wait a second, for a seat. and I'm going to extend the elbows to your head. Try to keep your elbows in. Bring them all the way down, turn on the back of your head, and all the way up. All the way down, and all the way up. Lift it down. Sorry, lift it all the way at the top. Loosen the strap. Bring it all the way down to touch the shoulder. Wake up. 7 seconds. Then you're close. One more time. High knee. Now double breath. High knee. Now shrug. And finally, double high knee. Without shrug. Here we go. Again. High knee. Try that knee up. Good. Now. You are stronger. Out. What's your body right now? I know you're not going too hard, but what you don't know is strength and burn. How do you jump up your hands down? Breathe in. You're gonna keep going. Get ready. Got the other side. Here we go. 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 Rotate. Press. Go back down with that rotation. Full extension at the bottom. Great job. Good. So we'll stop short and full range of motion every single rep. 20 seconds. Weight turn on your head. Show you keep your ribs sucked in. Squeeze that belly button. You're fine. Good. 10 seconds. Then guess what? Hit the button again. Great work, guys. Take control. One more. 3, 2, and 1. Side to side. Slide it out. Turn it around. Okay. Maybe you missed the piece up. Tap. Lower. Alright guys, ready for those shrugs. go. Once you get to that sweet spot, there's nothing better than feeling comfortable in your mind. You're not struggling to keep going. You know, you're just in this nice place where you can handle it, you'll speak, breathing, and you're doing this nice breathing. We have 90 seconds. That's it. Stay strong. Go. Breathe together. That final minute, guys. That's a lot. Keep it up. Moving. That's it. Got it. That's the big guys. There we go. That's it. Stop. Last 30 seconds. Let's take things up now. Start it out. Push it through. Let's go. This is at 80%. Come on. Here we go. Big stride. Do the arm. That knee stride is going to come in handy right here. So 20 seconds. Come on. Breathe. Put. Here we go. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slow it down. Bring it back to your walk. Good. That's deep. Line up nice. Calm walk. Breathe. Into it. And out to your mouth. Try to stay down already. Wait for the strong back. Don't sleep. Just stay strong. Great work. Going up and in, contact this. Put your circles again. Circle backwards. Shoulders and chest tired. Roll to the dumbbell. Take it straight. Awesome work. Now forward. Lift that. Roll it back. Up. Right arm up. Pull down. Chin up nice and high. And push your head on the back of your bicep. Good stuff. Switch it up. Good. And I know that those forearms are tired. So if you extend your arm out in front of you, grab those fingertips. Grab them. Arms lifting out. Forearms lifting it out. That's nice. Pop those arms up to 6. Yes, you don't drop that. Relax. Take it up. Good side. Palm up. Grab those fingers. Back. Nice one. You guys,
Actually, right. All right, well, I'll give you a big debrief on this as I cool down, but real quick before I save this data away, which is why I stopped pedaling. Here's my heart rate sitting mid 170s the whole time, average there, so. Let's grab a snapshot real quick. Two new personal records on the Pring, one on the, so I think this is the one before the downhill going this direction, and this is the start finish line. Complete our weekly goal in the middle of that. 333 calories burned in 23, almost 24 minutes. So there's our power spikes all over the place. Surging, surging. All right, screen's gonna go black for a second here, except for my camera. Save that away and I'll come right back in. Do the cool down. Get that line back up here. I didn't even see what I finished. Heart rate's coming down a little faster than I want it to, but I guess I could pedal. Loosen my shoes. All right, let's just go London. Yeah, classic is fine. Perfect. I'm gonna grab this snapshot real quick. Grab the sun through the clouds in London. All right, so trying to remember from the beginning. So it came out a little bit slower than I wanted to, but that proved to be better. I was in the maybe front 5 or 6 for quite a while, except for the one guy that right out of the gate just took off. Not sure what was up with that. Because there was several laps before we even caught him, but probably in the wrong category. Let's see, so I was actually able to hang with the front group. It was a pretty good sized group, but able to hang with the front group for, I don't think I lost contact until lap 4. And then once I lost contact, it was done. Real quick. So I can try and breathe here. Grab another drink. So let's see. So every lap, my power up was experience points, so I got nothing to help, which is fine. I mean, it gives me a leg down because it is a game, but also makes it more real in the fact that you know, if I were racing in real life, there'd be no power up. So let's see. So on that 4th lap, came through the finish line. My power up actually was a power up. I got a drafting power up, and I think the mistake I made is that, you know, I tend to kind of drift back a little bit in the hills and the rollers there, and either I drifted back too far compared to the other laps, and or everyone decided it was time to start racing. My heart rate says they were already racing, but I was also able to hang with them not that long, so maybe folks were taking it a little easy, so I don't know. Anyway, that fourth lap through the rollers, drifted back too far. I was at the end as we came up into the flat on the top. And either, it could be a combination of things. I didn't see where everyone was respectively. I could only see from my perspective. But looks like people started to tighten the screws a little bit, maybe deciding that they didn't want that big of a group going in the end. But so I had lost contact, got back to the wheel of the last place guy just as he was starting to ensure that his gap that was forming got closed back down. Stayed with him, made the left, started in the downhill, and that was it. Right, because everyone tends to put the hammer down the hill. I'm not sure if it was just because it's downhill, like it's watts or watts, it doesn't matter. Or if it's just because that way you kind of catch people off guard. If they're seeing the downhill as a way to relax or recover a little bit, you can catch them off guard. I don't know. But it's also harder to get away downhill. So I don't know. Not sure. Anyway, lost contact. And that was it. At that point, I saw that there was I was in no man's land. So I wanted to kind of keep the speed up, but let the heart rate come down a little bit. So I think I got it down to like mid 160s. And then was watching the group behind me. There was that group of like 6 or something. And so I was kind of watching how close they were to me. And for a while they were just kind of sitting. The gap wasn't closing, so I slowed down a little bit. Let them come in closer. And then I could see, based on how quickly the meters behind me was coming down, I could tell how fast they were approaching. At about, 7 meters back is where I dropped that drafting power up. And that's where I got out of the saddle to bump the watts up immediately. And the intent there was that you can't wait until they're passing you to jump. You have to jump because they already have momentum, so you have to get up to their speed. And it takes you some runway to get up to speed. So that's what I did there, caught that group. Let's see, they actually, we pulled in 1, 2, maybe 4 people. They were spit out the back of that bigger group, the first group. So I'd have to look at the time splits, but that big group arguably stayed together. I don't know. It could be they splintered into several small groups. I don't know. So then power-ups, I didn't get any more. I just got experience points. The rest of the ride, except for the start, so the last lap, When I let you know we had 1 lap to go, I got a Arrow helmet, which is arguably the best one you can get for a sprint, unless you're someone that can watch and time the lead out, in which case then you'd want well, maybe you still want the Arrow helmet, but you could also take advantage of a drafting tower up at that point and then kind of slingshot around. But if you could hang with someone that was doing a lead out, then I'd argue that the Arrow helmet's still the best one. And then time the lead out and then drop the Arrow helmet and come around them. So anyway, it's all easy to say and do when your heart rate isn't already middle 170s. Because when I got that, I was thinking, all right, that's good. Let's see what we can do here. And I have all these grandiose ideas of, we'll hang with everyone like we have been. Kind of do a little drifting. Again, you have to be careful drifting back on an uphill section when the group's only 6 or 7. Because you don't have a lot of room to play there. And I was finding myself toward the back of the group at the top of when we crested the rollers. And but then it's trying to measure that risk to reward and where to burn the matches. Because if you burn them on the uphills and you got nothing left, then you blow up, and that wasn't worth it either. So it's just trying to measure effort. Anyway, so if I remember right, lost contact with the smaller group toward the second half of the last lap. My legs felt like they could give more, but it didn't matter. I don't know where the limit was, really. Maybe it was up here. Maybe if I didn't know my heart rate was 175 or something, whatever it was at the time, maybe I'd go farther. I don't know. Anyway, lost contact, caught back on the wheel of one of the people that were in that group, I think. And stayed with them. They dropped the drafting power up as we were going into some of the last section before the start-finish line. Not totally sure why they did that. I guess just in case I came around, I don't know. Because it did them no good, because they were in front of me. I think it would have been better if they had watched me, and then especially if they could see, like, if I was sitting 0-1, 0-1, 0-1 meter behind them, if all of a sudden I disappeared, it would mean that I was actually coming around them, even if they didn't see me yet, and then they could hit that drafting power up and grab my wheel. So instead what I did was, not that I had a lot to give, but once we came around that last right turn for the start finish, dropped the Arrow helmet and picked it up to come around to grab a placing. Kind of feels disappointing based on how it's starting, but I also feel pretty good about the fact that it wasn't until halfway around I guess it was, I'll have to look back, I think it was lap 4 where I lost contact, so 3/8, 3.5/8, something like that. maybe halfway around lap 4, so not quite halfway, but I was able to hang with that front group, which in races past, that's been able to hang with them for 3/4 of the first lap and that was it, type of a thing. So I felt better that way. Yeah, I'm not sure what else. I felt good in the sense that I was pushing the mid 170s, low to mid 170s the whole time, so I was able to hold that. So that was good. Yeah, I don't know. In my mind, races are part of the journey. If you expect to get in a race and take first, and that's going to be it, then you're going to be sorely disappointed, regardless of how good you are. Because you can learn something from every single race. So, right, every single one is dynamic. And there's little things you could have done, a million different things I could have done at a million different spots, which would have had a million different outcomes. So, you can't say there was one thing where I lost the race. Although if I were to say there was one thing, it's when I lost contact with the front group. Because at that point, your chances of winning are 0. Because the front group is gone, and someone in the front group is going to win. But, like I say, it's a journey, and there's learning experience, got some fitness, and that's the intent, and had fun doing it. I wish there was some way I could talk to you during the race, but there's no way. There's no way I can talk and keep my heart rate in the mid 170s at the same time. So let's go ahead and reset some values here. So again, that was my rounded up real weight from this morning. This morning was 161.8. So like I mentioned, I will always round up. Even if it was 161.1, I will round up to 162. That's the commitment I'm making. So 162, but all my training I'm going to do at 170. So we'll do that. Again, that simulates me out on a training ride. I have water bottles with me. I have, water backpack. I have a bag with tools and inner tube and a patch kit, a pump, all these things that I wouldn't have with me during a race. So that simulates the extra weight of that, and I'm okay with that. We are exactly 3 experience points away from leveling up. So next time I broadcast, we will hit level what? What are we now? We will hit level 27. Alright, so I set my weight back. I'm going to go back and go back to my LA. Still good for the colors. Because again, you got to match the bike to the scheme. Let's go a little bit oranger. That's good. All right, and then we'll set the wheels back to my classic wheels. And then we'll call it. Got a couple more folks here. All right. So let's see. What do you listen to while riding? I didn't listen to anything. Had a great experience. If I did listen, well, I listen to my wife's music, so maybe that counts. There we go. We'll do that. So we use Pandora. All right. As always, if you like the video, hit that like. To stay notified, hit that subscribe button. I will leave 3 things down in the description, like always. 1, my Garmin data. This time there will be 3 postings: my pre-race, my race, and my post-race. If you want to dig into any of those, I always kind of find it interesting because Garmin allows you to overlay data and kind of see where things happened relative to each other. And let's see, Garmin data, a link to the hydration product I use called H2O, and as always a link to all of the Zwift maps. If there's something you want to see me ride, even if I've ridden it, or maybe you want to see me ride in a different direction, leave a comment. I'll slot it in the calendar. We'll make sure it happens. All right, with that, keep Zwifting. I will see you on the virtual side and